Hey, welcome to Coffee with Carmen. First things first, I want you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the like button. Also, I do have a blog and an Instagram account. I put those down here so that you can go and check those out. So, oh, what's this? Those are my lesson plans. So, I'm going to be showing you how to create lesson plans with a drop-down box of all your standards. But first things first, you have to be able to create those standards and a place for those. So I'm actually going to show you how to do those in a quick second. So I don't know about you, but every time I do lesson plans, I always have to go back and forth. Okay, which standard is which? Where am I going to put it? So I just wanted to make it a little bit easier for you guys. And as teachers, right now it's the summer and we have all the time to go ahead and set those up. So I hope you enjoy and you do this with me. Check it out. First things first, we're going to make sure you have your California Common Core state standards on one side and we have our folders on the other. We're going to go into our lesson plan folder. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go over and new, and we're going to open up Google Sheets. So here is our Google Sheets. We're going to go ahead and name this lesson plans. And then on the bottom, we're going to go ahead and under Sheets 1, we're going to change that to standards. And now we're ready to begin. So I'm going to skip this first box, these first couple boxes, and I'm going to move over to this fourth box right here. And I'm going to go ahead and label that standard. So what I started off doing is putting date and description, but I decided I wanted to move that over. So I'm going to select it, copy it, and then paste it over. And I'm actually going to rename that box completed, because we're going to actually add in something underneath there to show us that we've completed this. So I'm going to leave this side open, and you'll see later why I've left it open. So first things first, we're going to be working with math. As you can see, we're doing mathematics on the side, so we're going to merge these boxes. And just to make sure you see how I have mathematics, I'm going to go ahead and write math up in this box. So that means everything underneath that is going to be our math. So I'm going to select all, and I'm going to change this to have everything in the middle. And then I'm going to make sure, once again, the spacing is done. I'm going to put all the borders. I really like to make sure all my borders are already there. And then my text wrapping. So now that I have that ready for us to begin, this is just to make sure I don't have to do this later. I like to do it beforehand. So I'm going to go into my Common Core State Standards, and I'm teaching kindergarten, so I'm going to search up kindergarten, and as you can see, it's on page 10. So there's page 10. And now I'm going to move this over and head on over to my standards. So I don't need the overview, I need the actual standards. So here we go. So we're starting with counting and cardinality. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in, not next to standard, but right below it. Counting and cardinality. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start putting in my standards. So KCC1. And don't worry about the blue highlighted. I'm going to show you how to take that off in a minute. So 2, 3, if you notice, I'm going just down the numbers that are on my state standards. So I'm going to click on the blue link, and I'm going to take off those links right there, and that's how you do it. And then I'm going to select all 4, copy and paste below. This way I don't have to keep writing KCC whatever number. And then I go through and just change the number or add in the letter since some of these have extra added on to them. So I'm going to keep on going. This one has 7 standards. So I'm going to get up to 7 and then I'm going to delete the ones I don't need. There we go. So now I'm going to select all of these boxes and merge it. And that way you know these standards go with counting and cardinality. So these boxes under completed, we are actually going to insert a checkbox, as you can see there. And there we go. That's why I wanted the completed portion. So once I'm done with that standard, I can click complete and it'll show me right there. So now I'm actually going to insert a note. As you can see, I don't have all the standards there, so I'm going to go and copy from my state standard, and I'm going to insert a note and paste it in there. So that way, every time I go to that standard, it shows me what that standard is. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that to all the rest of my state standards. So don't forget to select and copy first and then insert the note. So now we're done with counting and cardinality, and I like to add colors in to my sheets. So I'm going to go ahead and change that to yellow so I know all those standards go with counting and cardinality. That way it stands out a little more. So now what I'm going to do, I'm also going to change the color of math on top. I like to, like I said, I want things to stand out a little bit more than just being there, especially since there's so many boxes. So now I'm going to move on to our next set of standards. So I'm going to go over to my California State Standards, and I'm going to scroll up, and I'm going to do the next one. So we have operations and algebraic thinking. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure you do it right under the previous box. We're not skipping spaces here. Don't worry, that'll all be evened out later. So I'm going to keep going on KOA 1. And I'm going to keep doing all the rest of the standards. So we have about 5 there, so I'm going to keep going. And as you can see, I'm inserting the notes as well for the descriptions of each of those standards. So I have all of those there for me. Don't forget to make sure you insert those check boxes as well, and I like to also color code that as well. Make sure, as you can see, I am not skipping those spaces. That will come in handy later on as we are inserting these standards into our lesson plans. So I'm making sure I'm going through all of them, copying, pasting the standards in each note, and making sure I have those check boxes for me as well. And there you go. We have all our standards done, and now I'm going to head over to the mathematical practice side. So underneath mathematical practices, I'm going to select a few boxes and I'm going to merge them. And I'm going to go in there and write Common Core State Standards. And this is not just to stay there and look pretty. I'm actually going to go back to my folder, and there are my Common Core State Standards. So I'm going to right click those, and I am going to get the shareable link for that. Make sure that you go ahead, so I'm going to click got it, and copy link. So now I'm going to head back to my lesson plans. I'm going to click Common Core State Standards. I'm going to insert link, and then I'm going to go ahead and paste the link here and apply. That way you can always go back to those standards anytime you head over to that box. So now I'm going to show you what I did. What I went ahead and did is I did all the math standards, ELA, ELD, Social Studies, Science, and you can go ahead and color code if you want or make the standards bold. That is up to you. But I'll go ahead and let you watch and look at all the things that you can do and all the standards that you can add to it, which will be very helpful when we do our lesson plans in the next portion.